name's Katie and I'm going to walk you through some upper back stretches that will hopefully get you feeling limber and releasing some of the tension in your upper back. So first of all, I just want you to find a comfortable seat. So for me, I'm putting a yoga block underneath my sit bones. For you, that might be a cushion. My legs are crossed, but that might feel awful to you. So if you don't want to cross your legs, you can extend the legs out to the side or put a little bend in the knees. So whatever is comfortable for you. For me, I'm most comfortable with my legs crossed, but please do take whatever option is best. Once you've found that comfortable seat, we're just going to do some gentle movements with the breath. So rooting those sit bones down, finding the length through the spine, just take a second to feel really long and tall, grounded into the earth and lifted up and out of the body. Checking in, just breathing first of all. Closing the eyes or just dropping the gaze just for a second. Breathing in, exhaling. Just allowing yourself to slowly turn inwards. Just a few more breaths there. And if the mind is feeling particularly busy today, just gently guide it back to the sensations of the breath. Feeling the breath in the body as it takes its journey. And then when you're ready, start to deepen that breath. Lovely deep breath in, soft sigh through the mouth, opening the eyes, lifting the gaze, starting to move. So as you inhale, float the arms out to the side, up and overhead, hands meet in prayer. If it feels good, you can gaze at the hands and then slowly draw them down towards the heart as you exhale. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, cactus the arms to the sides. Really get this sense that you're squeezing a 10-pound note between the shoulder blades. Inhale, draw those fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing them back down to prayer. Let's take that again. Inhale, feel that lovely stretch through the spine. Exhale, squeezing the shoulder blades down. You can even open the chest, the heart just a little way, lifting that chest towards the ceiling, shining that heart. Inhale, floating back up. Exhale, coming to prayer. Inhale, floating back up. Exhale, squeezing in the shoulders. Again, really feel like you're squeezing that 10-pound note between the shoulder blades. Holding here for a few breaths this time. Just breathing. We're not forcing. So if there's any tension arising in the body, don't kind of vilify that. Just let it be present. See if we can just use the breath to slowly soften, slowly open. Let go of that squeezing and start to round the back, bringing the hands in front of the body, letting the head come chin to chest, head drops, fingertips stretching in front of the body. Inhaling, opening the chest wide, spreading fingertips, spreading arms, squeezing shoulder blades, little baby back bend, lift the gaze if that feels good. Exhaling, rounding the back, feel like you're hugging a big beach ball into the belly. Bringing the fingertips in front of the body, let the chin come to the chest, gaze drops, rounding the upper back. Inhale, opening. Spread fingers, spread arms, star the body out, get that movement in the upper back. Exhale, rounding down. And then coming back to center, releasing the arms, feeling it in the shoulders a bit. So just give those a little bit of a wiggle. Warming up the shoulders, taking those circles, maybe one way then the other. Nice. If the legs are getting a bit uncomfortable, change position. So at any time you can move, you can adjust as you need, so please do make yourself comfortable. And then we're just going to start to warm up the neck and the upper back just a little bit more. So finding that length through the spine first of all, root those sit bones in. Imagine that you can imagine them rooting into the earth, like they're taking root, really strong, really holding. And as the sit bones root down, the spine gets longer. So get this sense of expansion and space through the back of the body. As you breathe in, get even taller. As you breathe out, keep that length in the spine, but start to tuck the chin towards the chest, keeping the spine long so we don't lose the stretch. Just bringing the chin towards the chest. Rolling the head down as much as feels comfortable. Now hopefully here, holding in that position, I'm just going to lift my head up so you can hear my voice clearly. So holding that chin to the chest, you might start to feel a little gentle stretch in the upper back. So just honour that and follow that and just allow the breath to guide the body. Again, we're not forcing anything. So if it feels too uncomfortable with the weight of the head, you can lift the head up. If you're not feeling anything, clasp the hands behind the head. Don't lose the length in the spine. So we don't want to collapse into the spine here and end up like that. We really want to keep that length, but just tipping the neck, the head down. So you can clasp the hands behind the head if you want to get a bit more leverage, a bit more weight behind the head, if that feels better in the body. So you've got that option as well. So chin to chest, hands clasping as an option. And we're just breathing here. Just allowing the breath to guide that stretch. Nothing else we need to do. Just allowing that opening. Then if the hands were clasped, release them. And then lifting the chin off the chest back up into that 12 o'clock position. Nice. Wiggling those shoulders again, maybe feeling a bit more mobile now in those shoulders. Feeling a bit more of a wiggle coming through in the upper back, which is good, getting a bit of movement in there. We're going to clasp the hands now behind the back. So you can either come up to knees if you wish, or you can stay in a seated position. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see me, but you can just stay where you are. So taking the hands behind the back, clasp those fingers or send them in that direction if you can't quite clasp them. Root those sit bones down either into the earth or into the heels if you're kneeling. Take a deep breath in and start to draw the clasped hands down and away from the body, feeling the chest, the heart open towards the ceiling. Imagine you're shining a light out of the heart and it's just beaming up towards the sky. Nice. And then releasing that position, just take a little rounding in the back, just to release, to counter pose, just stretching, rounding in the spine. Taking that again, clasp the hands behind the back, root the sit bones down, inhale, find length through the spine first of all. As you exhale, send those clasped hands away, down and away. So not just back, it's down and away as we keep that length through the spine. Chest is stacked over the hips, shine that heart. Breathing here, finding that space between the shoulders and the upper back. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. We want to create that space, that sense of mobility in the upper back. And then unclasping those hands, gently rounding the back, taking the hands in front of you. Just a little wiggle, little counter, rounding in the back. Nice. Coming over to all fours now. So heading into your all fours position. So roughly, you want your shoulders to be stacked underneath, you want your wrists to be stacked underneath your shoulders. You want your knees to be underneath the hips. And you want your legs to be hip width apart. So not too narrow, not too wide. So finding a position that feels good for you. If the wrists are tight, you can always come down to forearms. Or if you want to use blocks underneath the wrists, you've also got that option as well. If you don't have blocks, stacks of bricks works just as well. Stacks of books work just as well, sorry. So finding that position, softening that angle in the wrist if that feels a bit tight. And just take a second just to wiggle around here. Rocking the weight forwards, to the sides, back to the heels. Wiggling left and right. There's no right or wrong here. This is your movement and your little practice. So just see what feels good in the body. This is just about releasing, finding a bit of space. And then finding stillness in our all fours position. We're going to sink the sit bones back towards the heels. Keep the fingertips where they are as we extend into our child's pose. So if you want to wiggle the fingertips a bit further forward, you can. Releasing the forehead to the earth, let that kiss the ground. And if your head can't quite get there, use the blocks, use a pillow, releasing the head. Taking a few breaths here in our child's pose. Nice. 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then slowly as your next inhale arrives, use that to guide the body all the way back up into our all fours position. Move the cushions, the bricks, the books, whatever you had, if you had something under the forehead, let's just move that out the way, coming back to our all fours position. We're going to take a few rounds of our cat-cow here. So first of all, as you inhale, tip the pelvis back and up towards the ceiling. Start to arch the spine and drop the belly towards the mat. And then finally lift the gaze. So we've got this cow position here, this arching in the spine. As you inhale, draw the pelvis towards the nose. Start to round the back. We're coming into this angry cat spine. Push the shoulder blades apart. Really press the palms into the floor. Spread those fingers wide. Nice. As you inhale, once again, take it the other way. Belly starts to drop towards the mat, pelvis goes back and up. Arms are still long and strong as we finally lift the gaze. As you exhale, round the spine. That pelvis tucking towards the nose, pressing the shoulder blades apart, really pressing into the palms. Keep that movement going for me, so a few more rounds there. And I invite you to close the eyes or drop the gaze at this point. And what I want you to feel as you move with your breath is that this movement is always originating from the pelvis, the very base of the spine. It's tempting to want to move from the head first. So just see as you gently move through this motion with your breath. Just see if you can envisage that movement coming from the lower back every time. Nice. 1 or 2 more rounds there. Moving with the breath. Lovely. And then without rushing, when you next pass through that neutral position, we're going to do a movement called thread the needle. And this is really beautiful for stretching the upper back. So as you next inhale, allow your right hand to float up towards the ceiling, opening the chest towards the right side of the room. Gaze can follow that right fingers if that feels good. And as you exhale, thread the right hand behind the left wrist, so we're posting that hand underneath, and we're bringing our right shoulder towards the floor. Now if your shoulder can come towards the floor, and your head can comfortably come towards the floor, let the head relax, let everything come down. If this feels really tight for you, another option is to come onto the forearm of that right hand and do the same thing. And what we want to do here, whether your head's on the floor or whether your forearm's on the floor, we want to bring our right shoulder forwards and our left shoulder back, so we really get this sense of opening and twisting into the upper back. If that feels really nice and you want a bit more, left hand can come behind the body and really encourage that opening in the chest. So we're shining the chest towards the left side of the room. Take a few breaths here. Feel that lovely release in the body. And if you've gone too far, you can always unwind. You can always come to the forearm. It's all about finding a pose that works for you in this moment. So take whatever options feel best for you. You can also use your pillow, your bricks, your books to rest the head on if you wish. Keep getting that sense of the right shoulder coming forwards, the left shoulder coming back. So we've got this kind of twisting motion in the shoulders. Nice. As your next inhale arrives, let's unthread that hand. So bring the right hand out from behind that left wrist. Let's lift the right fingertips towards the ceiling, gaze follows, placing the right hand back down. Let's take that on the left side now. So I'm just going to switch sides so you can still see me. So taking that on the left side now. Left fingertips rise up as we inhale, opening the chest towards the ceiling. As you exhale, thread that left hand behind that right wrist, coming down. Maybe left shoulder coming down to the earth. Maybe left ear's coming down to the earth. Maybe you're lifting, maybe you're leaning on the blocks, the books, the pillows. Breathing here. Keep sending those sit bones high. So you see the sit bones are still stacked above my knees. They're not sinking back like they are in child's pose. The sit bones are really lifted up high. Shine the glutes towards the ceiling so you can get the most out of this stretch. And then again, every breath just settling down. Every exhale just sending you gently deeper into that twist. See if you can draw that top shoulder back, that bottom shoulder underneath. We're breathing here. We're opening here. Slowly releasing. Feeling good. Again, you've got that option to take that top arm up and over that right hand if you really want to open out. This is just an option. You don't have to take it. And then slowly unraveling here. Inhaling, uncurling, those fingers stretching up towards the ceiling, coming back into our tabletop, sinking on back into our child's pose, relaxing, forehead kissing the earth, arms long, sit bones relaxing back into the heels. As your next inhale comes, let's come up into our tabletop position. Now this is optional. Please do take it if you have a practice, otherwise you may not wish to, but I'm going to guide you through it. One last pose. Tucking the toes underneath, we're going to head into a downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide, press the palms into the earth to really get the sense that we're lifting up and out of the shoulders first of all. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, hover the knees off the mat. Bring the chest back towards the thighs and start to shine those sit bones up towards the ceiling, coming into our downward facing dog. Now this feels really nice in the upper back if you feel comfortable in downward facing dog, because you can really get a bit of motion, a bit of movement here. So pedaling through the feet, pressing one heel away and then the other. But keep sending, crucially, the chest towards the thighs. So if you need to keep the bend in the knees, to send the thighs back towards, to send the chest back towards the thighs, bend those knees, because this is all about having that straight spine, and you'll start to feel, you can even bounce here, you can feel that lovely stretch across the upper back. And then slowly coming down, dropping the knees, coming back to a kneeling position, taking any release that you need in the body, and then closing practice if you wish. So inhaling, hands meeting in prayer, and then lightly press the palms together, draw that energy down through the central line of the body, and bow as we say Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful.